Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Madao. I got another Wi-Fi UU battle for you today, and this is against the same opponent as my last vid, Pokemon Universe 24. Don't worry guys, I got a bunch of other battles. Well, I'm stuttering a little bit, but anyway, I got a bunch of other battles, and RU, UU, OU, NU, Little Cup, even in Ubers, but I might not upload some of them because I don't know if they're really that good. I'm not good at RU, Little Cup, or Ubers. But anyway, if you haven't noticed already, got a new layout. I happen to think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Please tell me if you like it or not. Now I understand that the Pokemon, like on both sides, aren't like fading in and out. They will eventually. I was just too lazy to do it for this vid. I'm sorry guys. Plus I gotta figure out how to do that without using Flash and using Sony Vegas. I can easily do that in Flash, no problem, but nah. Anyway, I kind of figured there might be a way to do it in Sony Vegas. But I'm rambling. Let's talk about the battle, because that's what y'all care about. Anyway, he sets up Stealth Rocks with his Gligar, and I send out my Porygon to trace that immunity, and now he's going to switch on to his Rosary as I go for the Ice Beam, and this Ice Beam doesn't do nearly as much damage as it would have done to an offensive Rosary, which tells me this one is defensive, max HP, max special defense. So I'm going to switch out here, go on to my Sensei, predicting the T-Spikes, considering I didn't think he would want to sleep out on my Porygon 2, since I could just send in Porygon 2 on the Rosary, trace its natural cure, then get rid of the sleep element pretty easily. So but unfortunately, you know, I predicted that wrong. He did indeed go for the sleep powder, missed the sleep powder, which pretty much helped me out throughout this game, because you will see later on that Mienshao plays a very, very big part in the rest of the game. But anyway, he makes a good play here and staying in on his predicted Volt Switch, because obviously a Leaf Storm would have been able to knock out that Gligar. However, I make a good prediction of my own, going for the Volt Switch for the second turn in a row, figuring he's going to switch, as he does indeed do that. He does switch out into his Roserade. Now, this does get some nice residual damage on this Roserade, but at the same time, I didn't expect the Gligar to stay in, and I do not happen to carry HP Fire on this Rotom Cut. Instead, I carry Trick. I used to carry HP Fire, but at this point, the only Rotom Cut I have with HP Fire is on Pokemon Showdown or Pokemon Online. Anyway, he's going to switch out here, go on to his Zapdos, and really, I needed damage on the Zapdos, because I didn't know if it was going to be defensive or offensive, so this is a perfect opportunity to find out, because really, Zapdos is pretty versatile. But anyway, I ended up getting a crit on that Flying Gem Acrobatics, which really helps out a lot later on in the game, because you'll see why that extra damage did. But anyway, I notice here that the Zapdos does happen to have leftovers, which kind of proves to me that it is defensive with possible sub Baton Pass, or really just sub 3 attacks, or sub Roofs 2 attacks. I don't know yet. However, I do make a nice play here, switching out to my Moga, getting the +1 speed with the Motor Drive, and then encoring him into that T-Bolt. That way I can get +2 speed with my Moga, who can then Baton Pass into the appropriate counter to whatever he has out on the field. Now, I know for a fact he's going to switch out here, so I'm going to go for the Baton Pass, and depending on who he brings in, like I said, I will bring out the appropriate counter. He ends up bringing in Roserade, which allows me a perfect opportunity to send out Mienshao, who will be at +2 speed. Now, here I kind of make a questionable play. I do go for the U-turn. Like, I could have easily went for the Acrobatics to knock out this Roserade. However, go for the U-turn, predicting the Gligar. Unfortunately for him, I do manage to get a crit, and I'm able to knock out the Roserade. Now, I'm pretty sure that crit mattered. Obviously, the Roserade wouldn't have taken it very nicely. However, it definitely wouldn't have been KO'd. Anyway, I'm going to end up setting out my Juvia or my Suicune, really because I want to bait the Zapdos, because now that I know he's defensive, I know he's carrying the Substitute, so I know for a fact he's going to go for the Substitute against my Suicune instead for going for the T-Bolt, considering what my Moga did to him early on in the game. So I'm going to knock out his sub with this Surf, calling that sub, and then the next turn I'm like, you know what, I'm a bulky Suicune, I can take a T-Bolt, so I can easily stay in and take this thing out with a Surf, or I can go out into a Moga and get that +1 speed, the Baton Pass. However, I decide, you know what, I'm going to stay in, take the hit, and I don't take it very nicely, because obviously it is a Zapdos and it hits me for super effective damage. However, I take it pretty well. for, you know, a water electric disadvantage. Anyway, I'm able to knock out the Zapdos. I do manage to get the 3rd crit of the game. Now, I'm not sure if that mattered. It might have not. Because it was defensive Zapdos, it might have. But once again, I'm not exactly that sure. I'm going to switch out into Porygon 2 here against this Kingdra. Really because I kind of figured it was a special attack. Because if you look at his team, he has a Gligar, a Darmanitan, and a Weavile, who are all pretty nice offensive threats. Well, Gligar is a wall, but does do some nice damage every now and again with the Earthquake. And Zapdos obviously a special attacker, but since it's defensive and Roserade is defensive, he needs a hard-hitting special attacker, which is what I kind of figured the Kingdra was. But anyway, I ended up toxicing this Darmanitan, really just because I wanted to toxic something on his team now that Roserade was gone. Happens to be the Darmanitan, the biggest threat against my team on his team, because if you think about it, Darmanitan can take out my Porygon 2 with a superpower. It can take out my Rotom Cut with a Flare Blitz. It can take out my Bisharp with a superpower or Flare Blitz, and can definitely take out my Mienshao with a Flare Blitz. So the only thing I can really do against this thing is my Suicune. My Suicune has a very low amount of HP. Luckily for me, I was able to land that Toxic, and he did lock himself in the Flare Blitz. Because of that, he's going to be receiving recoil damage from the Flare Blitz, and he's going to be receiving residual damage from the Toxic, which will rack up. Now, I did end up going for the Calm Mind, but, you know, I kind of figured I was going to go down right then and there. Luckily for me, I don't, because I am able to get all that residual damage thanks to the Poison and the recoil damage from Flare Blitz. And as you will see, after this turn, it brings him to a certain amount of HP where I can easily send a Mienshao, go for a Fake Out, and knock it out. So, this Darmanitan pretty much is gone, and really, now all he has left is Weavile, Gligar, and Kingdra, all of which can kind of turn the game around if he does play it right. However, I'm thinking, not since I do happen to have my Porygon 2, I can wall the Kingdra since I know it's a special attacker, and I can knock out the Gligar as long as I can get a switch into the Gligar and trace that immunity. But oh well, the only really big problem is the Weavile. Luckily for me, I know his setting does not have the low kick. He has Night Slash, Ice Punch, Ice Shard, and Fake Out. Now, I ended up outspeeding it here, and I believe Weavile's base speed says 125, while Mienshao is 105. So I honestly don't understand that. However, whatever, I'm able to get some nice damage. He ends up going for the Ice Punch, doing some decent damage on my Bisharp. However, you know what? I'm going to predict him to go for the Ice Shard here, predicting the Sucker Punch. So instead of going for the obvious Sucker Punch, I'm just going to go for the Swords Dance. Might as well get +2 speed. Obviously, I'm not going to really be able to do much to both the Kingdra or the Gligar with the respective moves in Iron Heads or Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch can do some damage to the Kingdra, but as far as the Gligar is concerned, I really can't do anything without +2 attack. So anyway, he's going to end up sending in the Gligar now, and since I'm at +2 attack and I do... Oh wait, I don't have a Life Orb on this one. Why do I have leftovers? This Bisharp's supposed to have Life Orb. I have to fix that later. But anyway, I end up going for that Iron. Why does this have leftovers? I end up going for the Iron Head. Doesn't do as much damage as I thought it would, maybe because I don't have Life Orb. I have leftovers. At this point, he's going to go for the Roost, really because he wants to make sure he's at a high enough amount of HP where he has the possibility of Toxic Stalling my Porygon 2. Unfortunately for him, I'm going to call him to go for the Earthquake this turn and switch out into my Rotom Cut, who does happen to carry the Leaf Storm. And since I am Choice Spec, either, you know, it's pick your poison at this point. Are you going to send in Kingdra to take a Choice Spec Leaf Storm from a Rotom Cut? Don't even think it would be able to survive that. Or are you going to leave in Gligar and hope he survives? He decides to leave in Gligar, which is a smarter play on his part, and Gligar goes down. So all he has left is the Kingdra, and I'm just going to tell you guys right here and now, it's pretty much a good game because I can easily set off a Leaf Storm against this thing, send in Porygon 2 and T-Bolt this thing. I can sack my Bisharp right here, get some nice damage if I jump kick with Mienshao. It's a good game. So once again, good game, Pokemon Universe 24. We can get another battle anytime you want, any tier you want, it doesn't really matter. I hope you guys do enjoy this new layout. Please tell me if you do. In fact, if you have any ideas on how to improve it, please tell me. I'm always open for ideas. You know, I go to technical school for graphic design. Obviously, this isn't the best of all things, and it was really a rush, like 10-minute job. It wasn't anything like I went in depth with. So If you have any ideas, just tell me. But I'm overall satisfied with it. Anyway, I'm RG Madao, and I will see y'all later.